turned it off because it was cold, and I'm still cold. So, and that's why I have on a sweater, like a jogging suit. It's because it's cold. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If y'all clicked on today's video, y'all already know I'm coming back today with my 5-year update on living here in Phoenix, Arizona. Do I still feel like it's worth the move in the year 2025? Stay tuned to the end of this video so y'all don't miss no details. So with that being said, let's stop wasting time. Let's go ahead and hop right into today's video. Let's talk about the cost of living because this is like the biggest one. I moved out here to Phoenix, Arizona in the year 2020. It's currently 2025, and I can honestly say that the cost of living has went up so much. And I actually talked about this in my 3-year update, you know, a few years ago, obviously. And from that point to now, I feel like some prices of stuff has went down slightly. And what I mean by that is, did y'all know that the prices that they charge for apartments can change almost daily? Like, you can go online and look at an apartment right now and it can say that it's, let's say for instance, $1,300 for a 1-bedroom, and then you could check on Friday and it could be $1,500. Like, this can be just like a exaggeration, but that's telling y'all that the prices do change daily. And I also heard that it's also a little bit cheaper when you move or you look for an apartment during the wintertime. It is currently the wintertime here in Phoenix, even though it's currently sunny and 63 degrees, which, you know, obviously I'm from Chicago and I'm pretty sure it's pretty chilly out there right about now. But I do believe it is a little bit cheaper to look for an apartment here in Arizona in the wintertime. So if you are thinking about coming out here, keep in mind that it does matter on like the property that you're going to, the type of amenities that you're looking for, and also just like the overall, like, you know, what do you want to like be in the area where you live at, as far as like stores, restaurants, you know, parks, hospitals, schools, all that stuff. A lot of stuff go into play when you're looking for a place. And honestly, when I first moved out here, I just found somewhere that I liked, because me, Shanae, and the kids came down here, we drove around and we was just going to complexes that looked nice. I didn't even look in the area for school until I got here, and then I found something that I actually liked. I'm like, okay. And out here they also have like an open enrollment state where you can really put your kids in whatever school you want to put them in. Now, me personally, I wouldn't want to put my son in a school that's, you know, 30 minutes away from my house, because that's just not, that don't make sense. But the school that my son do currently go to is technically not the school that's in our district, but it's like right up the street. So I do have to sign a open enrollment form every year so he can continue to go to the same school. So that's something that y'all will have to keep in mind as well. Now, I did recently move. I'm pretty sure everybody know that. If y'all haven't watched my apartment tour video, I will put that in the description box. But I did recently move, and my current apartment is a lot smaller than my previous apartment, and I can't even say that it's really that much cheaper. So just keep that in mind. I do have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, so I wasn't really mad about downsizing, going to something smaller. It's just, you know, I was just tired of the apartment that I was at that time, so it all worked out. So just keep in mind, I feel like the cost of living from 2020, obviously, 2023 to 2025 has changed a lot, and I don't recommend nobody come here unless you have a plan, money saved up, or a good job lined up. You know, when I used to watch videos of people talking about, oh, I moved to Arizona with no money, this is how I did it, I'm gonna tell y'all, like I told y'all before, they're lying. Nobody moved out here with no money, because it is terribly expensive. Like, you know, the cost of groceries are expensive, you know, utilities are expensive, and also like just housing, period. Like, I'm not working 2 jobs for no reason, y'all. Would I still tell somebody to move out here just based off of the cost of living? I guess it depends on where you're coming from, because if you're coming from somewhere that's already equally as expensive, you coming from New York trying to come here, this may not be as bad, because I know New York prices can be. Or you coming from Chicago, you know, prices can be. But it all just depends on where you go. If you're coming from somewhere where the cost of living is really not that high, then I wouldn't recommend you come here, because it'll definitely be like who y'all think gonna pay this much to live like that? Not me. So get somebody else to do it. So I don't know, I still like living in Arizona. So let's go ahead and talk about the utilities. So everybody know, and if you don't know, go ahead and watch my old videos, but I kind of bring you up to speed a little bit. I did used to have Empower through SRP, which is a prepaid version of lights. I did also have a deposit with Empower, which they let me pay over time. So when I move, my new complex don't have Empower, so they use APS, which I actually heard that APS was more expensive than Empower. But in my opinion, I kind of like APS a little bit better, mainly because I like having just like a monthly bill. The, pay-as-you-go lights is okay, but like when you get in situations where you don't have any money to pay as you go, it just makes more sense if you just have a regular monthly bill. Now, granted, I really don't be at home like that, so it's not like I'm just at home all day running my lights, got the heat on, got all this stuff on, and this and that. So I can't really say like 100% like that APS is more expensive or not. We will have to wait until the summer months. I want to say I do have my ceiling fans going like 24/7, so that's a thing. But I feel like it's not really terrible. My most recent bill was about $98, I believe, and that does include the fee of $25 because my deposit for APS was $250, and I broke it up into 10 payments that will be spread across all my other bills. So eventually, when I pay it off, then that $25 fee won't be tacked on anymore. So I don't know. So far, I kind of like APS a little bit better. I don't know. I guess we'll just see. But that's just my take on it. So let's go ahead and continue the video. I almost forgot to add this little piece in. Just make sure you do all of your research so you won't be disappointed. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the next point. Let's talk about jobs here in Phoenix, Arizona. I do currently have 2 jobs. I have a full-time job and a part-time job. Now, by all means, I'm not telling nobody to come here and work 2 jobs, sun up to sundown. That's just what I do, and this is how I'm able to, sustain me and, my family. If y'all watch my older videos, y'all would know I know what it's like to not have a job and to struggle. So, trust me, it's working for me for now, so I'm not complaining. Now, if you're coming here and you don't have a job, I want to say I don't think it's hard to find a job in Arizona. I think it's hard to find a really good paying job, which I feel like it could be hard to do that anywhere, not just Arizona. If you come in here and you really just need to get something just to get that ball rolling, you won't have an issue finding any random job. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what you have to do just to get yourself ahead for the time being, it can be done. And I want to say just continue to look for the job that you want or the pay that you want, because it can be hard to do that. Like, I ain't gonna lie and say, oh, like that's easy. I don't know what the minimum wage is right now in Phoenix, Arizona. I will put that on the screen for y'all to see. Both of my jobs, I don't make minimum wage. I make a little bit above minimum wage for my jobs. So I will also say look for jobs before y'all get here as well, because that can kind of save you some of that leg work when you get here, like riding around and looking at now hiring signs, which, by the way, it's be a lot of now hiring signs of places. So that's why I don't be understanding when I see people say like, oh yeah, I can't find a job. But then again, I guess let me not say it like that, because I see these signs up at all type of places, and I get that, people may not want to work there. But also, when you have things to do, you got to do what you got to do for the time being. Nobody's saying you got to start working there and work there forever, because I know people that job hop all the time. Notorious job hoppers. Like, if this job ain't working, on to the next. Like, you don't have to stay at a job if you truly don't want to. If it's not working for you, it's not working for your mental health, etc., etc. So just get here, get your apartment, find you a job, and then continue. You know what I'm saying? It's always about elevation. So one other thing I want to add in, as far as like me personally working 2 jobs, I do be tired, y'all. Like, I'm not gonna make it seem like I don't be tired. I do get tired, but I do have, off days, of course. And on my off days, I am usually off of both jobs. So I really look forward to the off days so I can really like wind down and just, stay to myself, or like do something with my son, just away from work. And I really do truly appreciate my jobs, because I remember when I didn't have one. If y'all are new to my channel, go ahead and check out some of my older videos. And I was talking about how, stressful, like, the gig work that I used to do was. Like, it was very stressful. Very, very stressful. When I look at the way my jobs is now, I'm not going to say, no, my jobs are not stressful. They're not. I actually like my jobs. So it's like, I love the consistency. So I'm willing to deal with that. I'm willing to put up with, whatever I have to, just so I can make sure that, me and my son is straight. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on the working 2 jobs. Like, I actually I know this guy who, used to work 2 jobs, and I used to always tell him, like, boy, you're crazy. But, it makes sense. When you have something that you're working towards, and, it's like, nobody is going to provide this for me. You know what I'm saying? I have to get out there and get it on my own. So that's my reasoning behind it. So if you work 2 jobs, let me know down in the comment section below, like, what are your thoughts on it, and would you recommend it to somebody else? Because me personally, I wouldn't recommend nobody to work 2 jobs if you absolutely don't have to, because it can be a lot, physically and mentally taxing. Like, take it from me. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop to the next one. Let's talk about making friends here in Arizona. Now, y'all know when I first moved out here, I didn't have any friends because I wasn't in a lot of like social situations because of the type of work I was doing. But I feel like now that I'm actually like around more people, I'm able to be more social. I do feel like I have made some friends like at work, and these are people that I hang out with and talk to outside of work, and I'm actually very grateful for that, because I feel like, at the age that I'm at, I do feel like it can be hard to find your own people, your own group of people. So just keep that in mind. Like, if you're coming out here, and if you are coming out here working gig work, you will have a hard time trying to make friends or meet people, because if you're not putting yourself in those type of situations to meet people. Granted, like when I was doing DoorDash, I was working 7 days a week, sun up, sun down. What time do I have to go out to meet people and make friends? None. Versus you working a regular job where you're around people, and also you can go out and be in the world because you don't have to work so much. So just keep that in mind. You can't come out here and think that you're just gonna stay to yourself and you're gonna be able to make friends. You can also make friends with your neighbors, all types of stuff. It's really not as hard as I thought, but you also have to be cautious of people, because some people may have ulterior motives, and I feel like that can be for anywhere, not just Arizona. You always have to be kind of when you meet people, because everybody don't have good intentions for you. I am grateful for the people that I have befriended and get to know on a regular, like, because I remember living out here and not having nobody. So that's something to keep in mind. You're gonna have to put yourself in these situations to meet people. I know there's also apps where you can meet people. I've never personally used none of these apps, but I do know somebody that did. I think it's something called Bumble BFF, and I think you can go on there and meet like women your age with the same interests and everything, and the same with men. And that may work for you, it may not. It just really depends on you and how well you can get along with people. They also have a lot of like events that they have where, say for instance, let me just use something that's an example. Like, say for instance, you into anime, which I am into anime, I love anime. If they have some type of convention down here, you can go to that and you can meet people who have the same interests as you, and then you never know, you may spark a lifelong friendship. So it really just depends on you personally. I do feel like some of the people here can be a little strange, but I feel like me growing up in Chicago, I can kind of like tell people from Chicago that move from Chicago somewhere else. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You can just tell. You can sense vibes from people, and you know, like, yeah, this person is like this. Let me keep my distance. This person, yeah. No. And another thing I want to add into making friends, I feel like it's so funny now that I be like, when I be at work around people be telling me that I have an accent. I don't hear it, but then again, obviously I wouldn't hear it. Like, somebody called me a country bumpkin the other day. I'm like, are you serious? People tell me that I do have an accent, so that's another thing too. It's kind of hard to kind of blend in here, like, oh yeah, I'm from Arizona. They're like, no, you're not from Arizona. You're clearly from somewhere in the South. It's like, actually, I'm from the Midwest, not the South. But I've been told that people say that people that's from Chicago, they have an accent, so that's another thing too. And that may make a lot of people want to gravitate towards you as well, because you're different, if y'all catch my drift. I almost forgot to add this up in here, but a lot of the times here, I noticed that I still have to translate what I'm saying. Like, since I work around more people now, instead of me just doing DoorDash, I talk a lot more, and a lot of the times people don't be understanding the things I be saying. And I be finding it funny, because I be like, what's not to understand? But then again, if I'm speaking in like a slang or saying certain words and doing certain things, and they just looking at me like, have you ever had a conversation with somebody
and they just looking at you, shaking their head, smiling. It's like, you don't understand none of what I'm saying. Okay, what part of the conversation did I lose you on? And then, like, saying things like pop. Like, when I go places, I be having to say, like, okay, like, do you know what pop is? And then if they say yes, I'll be like, cool. If they say no, then I say soda. Because, you know, I'm from Chicago. Like, we say pop there. Ain't nobody saying, let me get a soda. Like, nobody is saying that. And then also, like, another thing I was talking about earlier with the whole accent thing, I feel like people can really tell I'm not from here when I use certain words or, like, how I say certain things. Like, me saying something like y'all and all that stuff, like, people be like, what? And then I hear other people say it, and then it's like, oh, okay. Even, like, how I pronounce certain words, like car, they don't call it that here, obviously. They call it car. But, like I said, who's finna use all the words? You know, water. Like, it's just, like, a lot of different words that, like, I don't pronounce like them. And I feel like stuff like that makes me stand out, too. Because even my son, when he pronounced certain words, I be finding it so interesting. Because y'all know he's been out here. We've been out here for 5 years. So we came out here when he was, 4, going on 5 or something like that. So a lot of stuff that, you know, he's learning a lot of stuff out here. You know what I'm saying? He's around, like, you know, a lot of different people now, so they saying certain things, and the way that they pronounce things is different. So I feel like the way that he say orange and woman is just so interesting. I be like, say that again. I be like, say orange. And he be like, orange or something like that. I be like, TJ, why you saying like that? But it's like, I'm kind of saying it with a little bit of an accent, I guess you could say. But yeah, like, people don't be getting it. Like, I be like, what part did I lose you on? Let me help you out, because I'm just over here just rambling, and you just like, what is this girl talking about? I just had to add this up there. And the people that live here, y'all know what I mean. And the people who ever left Chicago and went somewhere else, y'all know what I mean.
The people that's from Arizona know when you're not from here. I'm gonna just say that. You're not gonna be able to blend in because you're gonna stick out. Because they're different here. I'm gonna just put it like that. You'll have to come here to see exactly what I'm talking about, but just now. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into the next point. Let's talk about the weather. This is like one of my most favorite topics when it comes to talking about living here in Arizona, because I do feel like it is still a lot of misconceptions. It does get cold out here, y'all. Lately, it's been cold. It is currently the winter time, so it's not, you know, 95 degrees in the winter. The daytime temperatures can go between, I'm gonna say 50 and 70. Now, obviously, coming from Chicago, and I always use Chicago as an example because that's the only other place I ever lived. 60 to 70 degrees is a nice day in Chicago, especially in the wintertime. Out here, that is cold. The sun is the only reason that it may feel a little warm, but if you walk in the shade, you're gonna be cold. The wind that blows is gonna be cold. And that sucks for somebody like me, because I like to wear sandals and Crocs, slides. I don't like wearing gym shoes. I only wear gym shoes to work, and that's because I have to. If they would be okay with me wearing Crocs to work, that's what I'd be wearing. But, you know, even when it be cold like that, I still wear slides, because it's like, I'm finna go walk right to my car and cut the heat on, and I'm not gonna be outside anyway, so it does get cold out here. Brianna just left here. I had my ceiling fan on. I turned it off because it was cold, and I'm still cold. So that's why I have on a sweater, like a jogging suit. It's because it's cold. So do not come out here thinking, oh, just because it's Arizona, it's the desert, in the wintertime it's still gonna be 100 degrees. It will not be 100 degrees. Me and my coworker was also just recently talking about this. I'm like, when is it gonna get hot again? She was like, it's probably gonna start heating back up in May. I cannot wait until May. I'm not one of the people that moved to Arizona like, it's too hot, I'm dying. No, I moved here for the 100+ degree weather. I moved to the desert from the Midwest. Of course I knew it was gonna be hot. I may say, dang, it's hot today, but I'm not saying like, it's so hot I'm ready to pack my bags and move back to the Midwest. Yeah, I ain't that hot. I ain't gonna never be that hot, because that's what I moved here for. But yes, y'all, it does rain. It rains occasionally. It does get cold occasionally. And they do have dust storms occasionally. So that's just something to keep in mind. The weather never ceases to amaze me out here. I'm gonna just say that. Also, they are really beautiful skies at night and in the morning. And it's just like, I currently live on the 3rd floor, which is really nice. I really love living on the 3rd floor. It's just nice. I can look out my window, or we can just like walk out the front door and we can just see like the mountains in the distance. And I feel like that's something that I don't think I would ever get tired of. It's like looking at the mountains, because they just be so nice. But with that being said, that's how I feel about the weather. So let's go ahead and wrap this up with the final point in the next clip. My final thoughts. Do I still recommend people to move to Arizona in the year 2025? I want to say yes, because I truly still love Arizona, even with all its flaws. I do feel like the cost of living is still high. I feel like the price of groceries are still high. The price of gas is kind of going down. Currently, gas prices are in between, like, you know, $2.79 and $3.09, something like that. It can also still be higher depending on the area, like it can be anywhere. And then also the weather is still how it has been. I do feel like when I first moved here, the winter times didn't bother me as much. I do feel like that. Yeah, with everything, I will still recommend people to move here. I want to say I do recommend that you do all the research that you can, because keep in mind, coming to Arizona on a vacation versus actually living in Arizona full time is 2 different Arizonas. So don't come on vacation here and be here for a week and just be like, yep, this is gonna be my life, because you can come here and it could just be way different. It could be way different. Just make sure that this is the right move for you and your family. If you have a family, just make sure, because I do feel like it can get hard. And this is coming from somebody, if y'all have not seen my other videos when I talked about how things was hard for me at one point because of, you know, I'm not gonna get into it. If y'all want to know the story, just go watch the old videos. But you know, things can be hard and things can be a little bit easier. I'm not gonna say that my life is super duper easy, because I do still work 2 jobs, and I know a lot of people that's just not willing to work 2 jobs, and I'm not even mad about that, because who want to work 2 jobs? Nobody. I don't work 2 jobs for fun. I work 2 jobs because this is what I have to do, and this is how I am able to sustain myself for me and my son. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like it just depends on the person. So yes, move to Phoenix if you still want to, because I still put my stamp of approval on here. I feel like everywhere got pros and cons. You just have to make sure that the pros outweigh those cons for you. So with that being said, let's get ready and wrap up today's video in the next clip. So if you made it to the end of today's video, yes, I see you, and yes, I do appreciate you. Don't forget to go ahead and give this video a huge thumbs up, and also hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss no content from me in the future. So with that being said, I will see y'all in my next upload. Bye.